Hey, welcome everybody to the Monday night at the bench. As you can see, I'm back in my shop. Let me invite some people here. So we'll do this. And we'll close that. Looks like I got some new tools to play with. Let's see here. And we want to go. The only thing I don't like about using my television as a monitor, it's a little bit out of shape for grabbing the tabs. Control V and post. We're about 5 minutes early. So let's see what we got here now. I don't know how to get to the YouTube side. Let's see if we can add the chat. But I think the chat is only visible to the people that are in this Hangout. So I need to figure out how to get back to the YouTube side. So let's look at this. And we need to mute that. Yeah. And join chat here. Control V. And there we go. So now I need to get back over to the other side. David said that my Brodak tape is almost as good as John's. Okay, well that's good. I'm glad you like it. Had a pretty good time at Brodak's. Why is that like that? Okay. We'll put it here anyway. Control V, enter. And so let's see what the toolbox does. Hangout toolbox. It looks like we got that back, so I can, yep. I can turn the lower third on. And there we go. All right. Going to be going to the Nats here shortly. As most know, I'm working in Dayton, and I'm going to work a week before the Nats, so I'll be leaving here shortly and go to the Nats. And I'm going to have these two airplanes that I got right here painted white before I leave, hopefully. I'm hoping to paint those tomorrow. I'll probably stand on them tonight while we're hanging out. I hope I get as good a hangout as Rusty did. I joined a couple of times. It's quite nice. On the way back from, let's see, where were we? On the way back from Dayton, we stopped at Allen Golf's contest at the two circles there in Muncie. I did get some pictures of the RC guys over at the AMA site, the giant RC scale. That was kind of cool, and I'll be posting those. But the wind was howling. We had a great contest, and I won the Concourse Award and second place in expert. And I'll let Ellen Goff fill you in on that. but the contest was rather quick. We all met at the field. Had a pretty good time, and then we went out for breakfast. It was quite different. I've never experienced a contest like that, but as I said, I'm going to let Alan Goff tell you what happened there, because it'll blow your mind. I don't know what he's going to do. Shop is a mess after being gone for a while. I left it in a big pile. What the heck is going on? Got some gnats in here. They'll all run out when I start doping tomorrow. It's kind of humid today, so I didn't get any doping done. I don't want it to blush up. I want to do it one time and be done with it. Let me see if there's anybody over on the YouTube side. If you're on the YouTube side, hey David. You can join the chat by clicking that link. And turn on the camera or type in, hey Terry, welcome. Join the chat by clicking the link. And that way I don't have to look at two different screens. As a matter of fact, I don't have two different screens. Hopefully Rusty will get in here, but he doesn't normally like to come on this late. I think he wanted to start running them at 7, but I don't know. It seems that I'm here in Central, I come on at 8, and I don't know, works for me. I'll do a little cleanup here, and then I'll get to sanding. If you got anything you want to talk about, go ahead and type it in, or send me a message, or join the chat and tell me. I've got about 100 subscribers to go before I can offer super chat, which is kind of cool. I mean, I doubt that I'm going to do as well as some of those political websites, but it'd be nice to do super chat. Damn these bugs. I brought one of the computers back from the dead today. This one here, that was brand new, and 3 days after the warranty was out, the hard drive went out on it. So I ran the diagnostics today on it. I got to get a hard drive for it. And this one over here, that's my old one. It's been all day trying to get it cleaned up, just sped up enough to, do you have what, David? Retracted. Type the message in there and I'll see it. Hopefully we can get some people on here talking, because it's rather hard to talk to yourself as Rusty knows now. DC 540, boy, I got a couple half cans here. That was empty. I might be able to get a spritz out of it. Well, I'm hoping somebody comes on. Let's see if I can figure out how to do that split screen. Let's turn this off, lower third off. There we go. We'll see how much delay there is. So the lower third is off. Boy, these flying bugs, gnats. There we go. And then I'm here in New Zealand and I need to get on with work, but I'll listen on my cell phone. Let's see. Listen on my cell phone. You did a great write-up on plastic clunk uniform tanks. Any more tips on the clunk tanks? That's about it on the clunk tanks. That's the only way I've ever set them up, and it's worked for me. 20 years plus. I do it that way. Did you try it? It works perfect. I mean, one thing that you should do when you're building your airplane, let me get the motor mount. Is you want to take your motor mount and behind, I can't find my pen, I'm using a green one. Behind where the motor sits, so if the motor sits back 2 inches here, you want to relieve this motor mount at 1/8 of an inch. So it not only works on clunk tanks, but it works also on Uniflow metal tanks. Let me color this in so you can see it. I didn't have a black marker, I only had a green. So there's not only work to do with the airplane, but you know, every piece has got, you can go pretty fanatical. So let me hold this up here so you can see it. You cut out the green part here, so that the tank can be adjusted up into the engine bearer a little farther. I also, when I do these, at the end, now this, you're going to have F1 right here, and then 6 or 8 inches back or whatever your nose moment is, you're going to have F2 right there. Well, I try to make this engine bearer rest on top of the wing. So you want to rest that on top of the wing and end up cutting out like that. Let's see if we can see that here. Yeah. And then after you cut this out, remember this is going to sit on top of the wing. I also take and grind or sand off the end. I mean, it doesn't seem like much, but you grind off the end so you remove some weight there. And then on the outside of the motor mount, you want to take it on the scroll saw and about every 1/8 of an inch cut down a 64th of an inch grooves all the way along there for better gluing surface. Now you can go crazy on the big motors. I don't suggest it, but on the smaller motors it works pretty good. You can drill lightning holes. So you drill a hole, a 3/16 hole every 3/8 of an inch all the way along. So you've taken this motor mount that weighs 28 grams, which is an ounce, and you're going to make it 3/4 of an ounce or a little less. That doesn't sound like much. Well, you know, why would you do that? But as I was talking to one of the guys in Dayton, if you're going to build a light airplane, you're going to have to skimp on every bit of the build. So 28 grams here, we're going to take off 28, that's 56 grams. Let's say we take off 12 grams. 12 and 56 is 44. Is that right? 44, 54. Anyway, you get the 12 grams off or whatever you can get off on the nose. So that's 12 grams you save there, almost a ½ ounce. And like on rudders, this rudder is only 3/16 thick. I'm gonna, you don't need a ½ inch rudder or whatever. You just start saving weight any way you can. And here I have a crutch started, but I haven't. I don't know what that was. I have a crutch started, just laying it out. I haven't relieved the motor mounts yet, or trimmed them back, but that'll all get done before it gets glued together. And you want to make sure that those are laying on the bench straight, nice and flat, so that you don't put the case of the engine in any twist. I also set my engines up to 60s anyway, on 1/8 inch aluminum pads. Now, if you have phenolic, I haven't been over to Coke Plastics since they moved, so it's been a few years. I used to go to Coke Plastics and buy phenolic. The 1/8 inch linen phenolic is just as good as the aluminum, and it glues great. I think around here somewhere I have some 3/8 by half phenolic that I use, and I used to take these motor mounts and make the whole end of the mount 3/8 by half. That sounds pretty good, and it does glue well because linen phenolic accepts the glue really great. But for Super Tiger 60s, even though they're a relatively smooth running engine, I kind of feel that you probably need the wood the whole length, so I quit doing the phenolic grafting. But it was something. I've tried all kinds of things. I've tried building beam wing stabilizers. I've tried built up flaps like Billy did on his Junar. All that crazy stuff, just to see if we can get a gram or two out. But then after you do it a few times, there comes a point when you go, well, is that really worth it? For example, these elevators, let's weigh them. This is kind of a long ways from gas tanks, but it's all into the weight thing. This one's a little bit heavy. It's a ½ ounce. I'll keep cutting them out until I get one a little lighter, a couple of grams lighter anyway. 15 grams. Let's see what this one is. Yeah, both 15. So, that's an ounce for elevators. These are the wingtips. The only way you're going to build light airplanes, and this is for one of my. Cool, thanks, Edward. For one of my watchers that has talked to me personally in his shop, how do you build light airplanes? Well, these are the wingtips. The wingtip weighs 3 grams. This is a wingtip with the wingtip adjustable lead-out mechanism in it. It weighs 7 grams. So we have 3 and 7, 10 grams for wingtips. And after you guys build for a while, you'll find that 10 grams for 2 wingtips is pretty good. And they'll be less after they're shaped because you're going to lose 50% of that. So I'd say, you're going to be down to 7 grams total for both wingtips. So let's see here. While at Brodax, I think I mentioned this. I picked up some wood, and you kind of want to do this wherever you go. Wood is so hard to come by. This is 129 grams. It's 3/4 by 3 by 48. It's 4.5 pound wood. When you see a piece of wood like this, whether you're going to use it right away or not, you better get it because it don't come around that often. And I've always, since about 1991, and this Viper right here, I don't believe there's a picture of this one on the forum anywhere. I think you can probably see that. I can't tell by, oh, I could slide it over to the other screen maybe. There we go. I forgot I got 2 screens here. Except I can't do it. Why? What the heck's the problem here? Anyway, try it again so I can see. That's the 91 Viper. That wing was built out of all 332nd, and it was a beam wing. And this airplane was 40, I think it was 46 or 47 ounces. It had a Super Tiger G51 in it. It really flew nice. And ever since I built wings out of all 332nd, I've really taken a liking to it. So all my wings now, including that one there, are 332nd. So whenever I go somewhere, just like John's, the shop, I buy 332nd wood because you can sand that and get a shape on it. And let's see what we got here. It's 11 grams. I think I didn't take anything over 11 grams. That's 11. I can't bring up the balsa density calculator, but I think that's 4 pound wood. It sure feels like it. 11. So it's going to be, that one's a little heavier. That one's 10. Hope we got some 8s in there. That one's 10. Hey, bud. That one's 11. Got a few light ones in there. 11. So they're averaging 11 grams. So let's see. Let me bring the balsa density calculator up and see what that is. It felt good when I went in there, so I figured, well, we'll get it. So let's see what the balsa density calculator says. You guys don't use this balsa density calculator, you're crazy. This is on the National Control Line Racing Association. We'll say that the average on that is in 11 grams. And it's 36. And it's 3 inches. And thickness of it is 332. 3.32. Calculate, see what it is. Yep, I'm right. 4.14 pounds wood. So anytime that you can you run across wood like that, I suggest that you scoop it up.
Hey, Sparky.
Hey, who we got there?
Steve Hines.
Hey, Steve. I'm glad somebody come in finally.
Well, I was trying to get on this regular computer, but it went into an update, and it's been doing it for almost 25 minutes. So I figured I'd grab my tablet and come in this way.
What are those two planes behind you that are not painted? Those are my project airplanes that I'm doing. And I'm going to have those painted before I go back to Dayton. So I got 4 days or 5 days to get them painted white. Now they're mostly ready to, ready to go. I've been standing on them for weeks. But they're not going to be as good as the other ones. But I got to get them done. So they're going to be painted white, as Randy Powell says, a paint job never finished. It's just abandoned. So I'm ready to paint them, and that's it. And I got a couple more over in the corner. One's primed, the other one and needs to be resanded again. And then I got to start priming on the other one. So hopefully I can get them done by August. Time is getting short. It wouldn't be bad if I was here, but I'm not here.
Sounds like you keep getting busier.
Well, I mean, there's lots of work for me to do in Dayton.
Oh, okay.
I put up the Rodak video. I don't know that you saw it.
I've seen part of it.
You were there, so you don't need to
Yeah.
to see much.
Well, Samantha was kind of looking too. She wanted to find them, I don't know, the pictures you took of her in like 3 different directions or whatever.
Oh, I didn't post those. I mean, if she wants them, I'll send them to her, but I didn't post those.
Oh, okay. Yeah, she wants it. She goes like, man, that was neat how he did that. Oh.
What is the next contest I'll attend? I will be at the Nationals the 17th. And then after the Nationals, I think FCM, and then Paducah, Kentucky, and Huntersville. I don't know. There's a few of them this year. I got hooked up with Jerry, so fortunately we kind of go together, and I'll be going to. I'll at least make 2 more different contests than I did this year.
Now, did they move Paducah so it's not the same week as but it was always Detroit?
I'm not sure. It's in September.
Okay, yeah, because it was always the one weekend was Detroit, then FMC, but Paducah and Detroit was always the same weekend.
Oh, wait a
And
minute.
everybody,
Maybe it's late August. I'm not sure. Maybe it's late August. I don't know.
yeah, we were always going to go to Paducah, but Detroit's so much closer for us that
Well, you guys
we
live
go
in
there. And
Dearbornistan, don't you?
pardon me?
You live in Dearbornistan, don't you?
No, I live in Grand Rapids on the other side of the state,
Oh,
close to the water, so we can escape.
I got a little bit more of the 2017 Brodak footage, but man, it just takes so damn long to edit it up. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Well, Edward King is writing that he liked the Brodak video. Well, that Brodak video took probably a week to put together. As I got the footage, I'd go at night into the motorhome and piece footage together. And then when I got home here, I closed it out. So, you know, there's probably a week's worth of editing to do. So I don't know if I'm going to post any more Brodak or not.
It was a week worth of filming in stifling heat also. You couldn't be in the shade while you were doing it.
Yeah. Yeah, Fred, I'll be there.
Did you get any flying in at all lately or not? You're just too busy.
No, we fly every Tuesday night at Dayton. The problem with Dayton is they're in a bowl. And what I mean by that, they got two really nice circles, but the trees are within 40 feet of the circle, maybe 30 feet of the circle. So when the wind's coming up, which way is the wind blowing? I thought Booter Park was bad for wind direction, but the wind is always blowing at you. It's really strange. I went around, I did my pattern 360 degrees around the circle, so it's kind of hard to practice when you got wind like that.
Yeah, that's what's kind of happening in our field here is that the trees are growing up and it's starting to do weird air patterns. We can put a sock up high and see which direction it comes, but it'll knock the wind off 45 degrees in one spot, and you get up high and then it's going, it's going straight. So yeah, if we get a good wind, it's really hard to fly. The other night, Samantha was flying, and once she got up above the trees, the wind was in a different direction and blowing the plane all over the place, and so we just stopped flying.
Now here, have you ever been to Booter Park?
No.
We have a beautiful park that has a fenced-in speed cage, a big square concrete pad, and then a paved donut. And we used to have a huge tree right by where we used to come in, and you could sit under that and watch people fly. Now, it sounds like it's a cool deal, but it's not. You know what trees do. The wind is terrible. The Parks Department thinks they're doing you a favor by planting trees, and I'll tell you a story about that. In the 60s, will be... Okay, Fred Cornwett says, you might mention that the control line circles at Booter Park will be sealed on the donut and the square pad, and will have new asphalt cap in July. Booter Park will be looking good for the Broken Arrow, so it'll be a nice surface to fly on. But I want to tell you about the 60s. Ron O'Toole used to fly here in the 60s, and I believe it was the 70s they had the FAI team trials here. And I got pictures that Art Schaefer Sr. gave me of Booter Park in the 60s. There was no trees along Interstate 44. There were no trees along the back half where we park. And Ron said the flying was great then. Now the Parks Department's done a favor and they planted all these damn trees and the wind is blowing at you all the time or blowing straight up. So we had this big tree. It was really nice to sit under and watch the guys fly, and it was hit by lightning. Wham! And it's kind of split in half and it died. So they took that out. And from what I just read on our club newsletter, the flood took another one out. It's terrible for the shade, but boy, it makes for much better flying with them trees gone. That's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I was reading a thing. They said the Chinese, some of their parks where they fly, they put buildings all up around them, and it kind of ruined their flying sites, their parks, because the buildings do the same thing.
No doubt. A pop-up tent or a row of cars will do the same thing on a windy day.
Oh, okay, yeah. I didn't think about that.
So, I mean, you can't hardly win. I just figured out how to watch the chat and this now. At least I can do it I got this on the television. So now, by doing a screen like this, there we go. Well, Stingray, that is not a kit. That is not even an airplane of anyone's numbers. It's, let's see, I had that paper. It's a GeoXL wing, which is this wing right here. You can call Robbins View Production, Bob Hunt. He'll cut you a lost foam cradle, and then you build the wing. And Rusty just joined. Welcome, Rusty.
Hey.
And then...
I didn't know y'all were on tonight, right now.
It's Monday, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Did you say you were going to do it tonight? I guess
yeah,
so.
I told you to do it when I'm home.
Okay.
I'm explaining to Stingray what the XL is. Then well, I can't even do that because I did it off just by looking at it. It's a Junar profile. It the side of it looks like a Junar, and the elevator stabilizer is a large USA-1. So it's really not an airplane that has plans or a kit. And then the thrust line is the top of the datum line down to the center line of the wing is 1.5 inches. And the nose movement on this one is 10 3/4 with the engine sitting back 3/4 of an inch so I could get that nice looking nose on it. So it's in all actuality, it's a 10-inch nose with a 16.5-inch tail moment. So you just kind of use the numbers, and it's, Chris built one that looks very similar, but I'm sure the numbers are nowhere near close because he used a different engine, so he had to adjust for his, you make the tail moment and then you make the nose moment long enough to balance. That's about it. So you don't have to add weight. We're looking at Steve's ceiling. Boy, that's a nice ceiling, Steve.
Yeah, I'm trying to get this damn computer to come up, and it just keeps updating shit, and now I can't get to nothing. Well, maybe I turn it off and turn it back on. I don't know.
Oh, I wouldn't.
Yeah, that could make it worse. You never know, but
I wouldn't do that. Let it do its thing.
I just got a blank screen now.
Cancel. Well, I think that think I got this computer back from the dead. I'm not going to be able to bring the other one back because it needs a hard drive. But I brought that one back from the dead today.
What do you have to do to it?
I booted in safe mode, ran system diagnostics, removed everything, and then cleaned everything up and let it do disk defrag. It's been working all day.
Oh, that's good. Samantha left her laptop here, and so I'm gonna try it. We'll see if I can do it or not. My own home computer. It's got so many viruses in it or something, and I don't know. They quarantine stuff, and it doesn't even hardly work.
Well, if you're running Windows 10, you want to go search the web for destroy Windows spying. And that's a program that'll take all the CIA spyware out of the damn Windows 10. They can't.
Yeah, this is Windows 7, and I tried to update to 10, and it says I don't have the right graphics card.
Yeah.
But if I look to see what's in it, it's good. I called, they said, oh yeah, that graphics card should work, but it won't print on the printer, and it just does whatever it wants.
That's because there's no drivers in Windows 10. My best advice is stay with Windows 7.
Yeah, I agree. Windows 7 is at least as stable as Windows 10 too.
Windows 10 ain't stable as far as I'm concerned.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. 7's more stable than 10. I like 10 okay. I've been getting along with it fine. But the only reason I upgraded is because I had to buy a whole new box. My other one just went bluey.
I don't have the crowd you had. I guess nobody likes me.
Well, I don't know. Maybe they didn't start looking until about 10 minutes ago. I'm a little late getting on. I usually try to get it about 9:30 Eastern time, and so they might pop in. I'm just opening the YouTube page right now. It doesn't seem to want to open though, just to see who's over there.
I'm going to add the link in the YouTube page one more time. Control V, enter. I figured out how to do this so that I can watch both the screen and the chat, but I'm using my TV, which is huge, and I kind of shrunk the windows down where I can see them both. So.
Yeah, I was just trying to switch over back and forth between tabs every 10 minutes or so, and that was working okay, but I can't keep a steady eye on it that way.
Now, the problem is, I know that there's a way that I can put this chat into our window. I can't figure it out. I know there's a way that the kids are doing it, because you see it all the time. It comes up with a chat bubble or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know how to do it. So we don't have any 12-year-old kids around here. So
that's what I was about to say. We need to get some youngsters in here for that.
Yeah, 12 and 13 years old, the gamers, they know how to do it. So,
did you announce about Marcus Cordero when you signed in?
I did not.
He died today.
That's too bad. He was a young guy.
Yes, he was 44 years old. He sure was. And he was a real athlete. He was into the BMX bikes and all kinds of extreme sports, I think. And it just came up suddenly because he was posting just this week earlier about building and finishing some planes. And all of a sudden today, it turns out he'd passed away, and I can't get any good information about what happened, except that it was something having to do with his stomach. And I got that through a translation on his Facebook page.
Hey, Steve, do you have an iPhone?
No, Samantha does, but I don't have an iPhone.
Terry Forbes needs some help getting on to this with his phone. Can you explain to him how to get on with his phone?
I go to Stunt Hanger Hangouts. And then click on, tonight it says 8 o'clock, whatever. Click on that. And then there's an address down there, and you click on that. And then it goes to Google Hangouts, and you just accept, and you come right in. That's the only way I can get on with my phone. I can't do it through YouTube or anything else.
Phone. Can you explain to him how to get on? Okay, Terry. He just told you. Go to stunthanger.com. Go to at the bench. Click on the thread that I posted tonight, 8 o'clock. Sparky with Sparky at the bench. Click on that link. Accept the terms and conditions, and come on in. So I mean, I don't know how to start a chat or live stream or any of that stuff with my telephone yet.
And then there's a address down there, and you click on that.
Is that you, Rusty?
Yeah, sorry, I was opening the YouTube page. I got it under control now.
We got 15 watchers, 3 players. So these hangouts are starting to become pretty popular.
Yeah, last week we got 6 or 7 people in steady. Good. If you start getting more than that, it starts getting kind of confusing. But 6 or 7 people is a great crowd.
No, Steve, I can't see his last. Schonecker asked if the video is locked up. I don't see that it's locked up.
On mine, okay. It's locking real quick, and then it'll come right back.
Well, you need to lower your bandwidth then. I don't know how to do that on the phone, but
yeah, I don't know either.
Tom Creasy.
Hi, how you doing?
Pretty good.
Hey, Tom.
Yeah, that was pretty sad about Marcus, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. I saw that you had been over to his Facebook page.
Yeah, it was just
I was surprised. Was it a stomach illness? Do you know?
Yeah, he had to go to the emergency room, and it was internal bleeding. I don't know what a UCI is, but
No,
yeah, he went into surgery and never got out of it.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah,
I was a complete surprise because he was building and painting earlier this week on Facebook.
Yeah, I was just talking to him. The last time I talked to him was the 24th. That was just 2 days ago.
Day before yesterday. Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, he was sending me stuff on that new Enya 61 and stuff. So, but yeah, I guess that's on me now.
I tell you what, he was like an airplane factory, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Yeah, he was great. He was to Brazil in South America what Sparky is to, the USA.
He's the Brazilian Sparky.
Yeah. Yeah, he was. Boy, he was just an airplane production dude. Boy, he turned out airplanes. Seemed like every week he was turning out a different airplane. It's sad to hear.
Yeah, that's what happened to John DeTavio. He had that stomach and something broke in there, and they got him going, but he had a stroke, and yeah, he was just right after it. They ended up saving him, but it affected his memory and all kinds of stuff.
Whoa.
Well, let's see what you got built, Tom.
What's that?
Let's see what you got built.
Oh man, I tell you, I've had a long spring and beginning of the summer. I still haven't painted my last 2 airplanes that I built this winter. I got one of them that's primered, and I've got another one that's half painted. And July 13th, or 14th, I'm leaving for the Nats. I at least got to get one of them painted. I got one more color to shoot on the P40, the RSM kit from Eric Rule. And I'm pretty pleased with the weight, how the weight's coming out. It's really going to be my first production airplane. It's probably would be a good flyer, you know. So yeah, kind of getting depressed because I haven't had the time to paint it yet, to finish painting it. And then I was thought, well, I was gonna take some weight off of my control horn. So I was taking my grinder and grinding away on the control horn and getting some weight off of it, and I cut my wire off. I cut the damn thing in two, the wire in two. Now I got to make me a new control horn assembly. Yeah, so that's where I'm at.
Rusty Ken.
But I did do.
Hello.
I
What's
couldn't hear what
that?
you said, Sparky. What'd you say?
Ken Colbrett says hello.
Yes, I was noticing that too. I was going to tell you. Did y'all answer the question that, let's see, somebody asked about what engine does Sam have in her plane?
Which one?
Let's see.
The Oriental.
Oriental.
The Oriental is a Brodak 40.
Okay, yeah, that was Stingray, I believe, was asking that question.
And you're going to take the electric plane and put it in a circle file, right?
What's the circle file?
That's the dumpster. That's the dumpster dive.
Actually, she flew her highest scores with that electric vector. She kind of likes it.
Hey, y'all see Derek Barry's he finally got his clear coated and ready for flights. I guess.
Yeah, it's got skulls and crossbones on the lead edge. I like that.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, looks good. She always does a nice job.
Yeah, I guess he's bringing that to the Nationals this year.
Well, you hope so.
Yeah,
Yeah,
depends
you
on
ought
his
to have
flight
time to
test, I
swim.
guess.
He's got a few weeks to trim it. What week is the Nats?
17th.
Mine's I fly on the 16th. I'm in the beginner event, but I'm going to hang around and watch the advanced and experts. When is the parents judging? Is it the 17th on the Monday?
Sunday. The Sunday of Classic, I think. It's usually the day before. Let's see. Or it might be Monday.
Because they have that first. They have that first before the flying starts.
Right.
I got a phone call yesterday from Bob Zambelli, who was one of my judges at Triple Tree, and he told me I need to get my ass out of intermediate and start flying advanced. So
Yep, come to the Nats.
already my plan, but it was nice to hear him call me and tell me that. So I guess I got the boot now, official boot.
I was busy yesterday. I had around my local area every year around the third week of June is Heritage Days. And I got together a bunch of RC flyers, some control line guys, and went out to the municipal airport. They always have a fly-in on Heritage Days every year. And this is the first time we had flight demonstrations and static displays. And it went over real well. There was airport people said there was about 3,000 people in and out during the day. And it was from 6 a.m. until noon.
Looked like a hell of an event. I saw the pictures on Facebook.
Yeah, yeah, and about 8 o'clock was when the mass people started showing up, you know, and I never heard the announcer at all say anything about, you know, that we was here, and a couple flying buddies, Larry Lindbergh and Ricky Bollinger. They had another field going and table set up for flying 049 half A's, and they was brought a bunch of trainers, and they was letting kids and adults fly them. And man, were they busy. It was pretty fun. But anyway, I went over to the announcer to tell him, hey, you know, you probably need to tell the people about, you know, what we're doing here and stuff. As I was explaining to the announcer, he just took the mic and just stuck it right in my face. It kind of just froze up because I was like, wow, you know, I don't know about that. But I went ahead and took a hold of the mic and announced everything, and yeah, it was pretty fun. Me and my dad, I got him out of the house. He turns 81 this year, and he was really excited. I took him and got his mower and mowed a circle out there and at the airport so we could fly the 40 to 60 size planes.
Oh, so you did have some grass. I was wondering about that.
Yep. Yeah, I went out 2 days before the event and mowed out a circle, and man, I tell you what, it was a lot of fun. I got home though, and man, I was just wore out. But I did get in some serious practice though, flying, because I flew continuously for shit.
You said
4
you flew
hours.
your LA-46 Cardinal, is that right?
Yep.
Yeah, that Cardinal with a LA-46 is a great combination.
Yeah, and I had a fellow flyer out there, and I've flown this plane before, and yeah, he actually gave me a lot of pointers, and found out that I had a wingtip that was drooping. The outboard wingtip wasn't flying level. I had a hinging problem, and yeah, that was a lot of help, you know.
Yeah, man, you gotta have somebody.
They're asking on the YouTube channel, what day is advanced? Is it intermediate at the NAS?
Tuesday.
But at the Nats, usually it's the same day as what the beginners fly. They fly beginner and intermediate on the same day on the that'd be
that's right. Yeah, it's Sunday.
That'd be
And
the
what's Monday
16th.
though?
I don't know. I do have the schedule here. Let me look at it.
See what day of parent jetting is, so I don't miss it. Even though I don't have to judge it.
Let's see. On the 16th on Sunday is beginner and intermediate.
Is it parent jetting the 16th or 17th?
Okay, the concourse voting. That would be the appearance judging. That's at 2:30 p.m. on Monday, July 17th, at Building 180.
Okay.
And then the precision aerobatics. Let's see. Round 1 and 2. That's Wednesday, July 19th. Old time and classic is the 18th. Yep. I'll be there the 14th, so the Saturday, the 15th, I'll be practicing.
Where'd you get that schedule? Is that at the AMA website?
I got the schedule off of Stunt Hanger.
Oh, okay. Stingray was asking where the schedule is.
Yeah, I think it was on Open Forum, Stunt Hanger, because I looked under events and I couldn't find it. I downloaded it. It's a PDF file. Wish you could make it down there, Rusty.
What'd you say, Tom?
Said I wish you could make it down there.
Yeah, me too. Not going to happen though, unfortunately, but
I am pleased. I did see a confirmation of Brodack will be held next year.
Oh, good.
That made me really happy.
Everybody says John's feeling really good. Best he has in several years. So I'm glad he's feeling up to it.
I'm going to plan to go to Brodack next year because it's either one or the other. Either go to the Nats or go to the Brodack.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to give up the Nationals next year. I'm going to go to Brodack.
I think Brodack's a lot more fun from what I hear.
Yeah, I every time I see a video or pictures or people talking about it, I want to go just because of the fun.
Yeah. Yeah,
Plus,
Will Davis says the Nats just isn't really fun for him. You know, you're out there for so many days, you don't get to fly all that much except for a couple of rounds each day, and it's usually hot, standing out on the pavement, and just a lot different from places like Brodack, Huntersville, Triple Tree.
Well, I got a secret weapon now. When the circles at the Nats are full, I'm going to go to where the circles are. I was at yesterday. I was in Muncie yesterday.
I've passed them two circles at Muncie last year when I was at the Nats.
Well, I got a piece of RC wood there.
Heavy?
14 grams.
What is that, 4 by 36?
Yeah, by 3/32. Most of them are in the 10, 11 gram range. 14 grams is.
How many 4 by 36, 332 sheets do you use to build how many sheets do you kind of average when you build a wing?
No clue. As many as it takes. I just keep stockpiling, and how I do this is I have a bunch of 77,000s too. I ordered a bunch of 77,000s wood when Riley Wooten, Lone Star Balsa, was cutting wood. And I would weigh it all like I'm doing here. And you build your first, second, and third string airplanes out of them. Take the lightest wood for the first airplane and second, so on and so forth. And you're good for about 4 rounds.
I haven't looked at my Cardinal yet, but I'm thinking when I start that, I'm going to laminate the fuselage out of some sheets rather than just use whatever they threw in the box. And I'll probably have some questions about the best grade of wood to choose for laminating a fuselage.
I don't know. I watched Al Raby's profile Bearcat build, and he's got a profile fuselage built up, and the way he did it, it's super strong. He beat it on the bench and on his hand, and
yeah,
like it was super strong. He laminates it together with epoxy with acetone in it, thins it down.
I guess you need to use a medium grade balsa with the not too long, not too short of a grain. And just use 2 sheets of 1/4 inch and glue them together. I don't like the idea of just using 1/2 inch slab. I'd rather laminate it with maybe some carbon veil in the middle and epoxy the two together.
I used Elmer's wood glue and carbon fiber veil on this P40 that I got, and I hollowed out between the trailing edge and the leading edge of the stab, and then put a geodetic ribbing in there, and then laminated all that together.
Mm-hmm.
Man, it made it super light, and the strength is there. It still twists, you know, but they all twist.
With the aliphatic glue, I think you have more chance of twisting than you do with epoxy.
Yep. Yeah, when I watched that profile build of Al Raby's, that's what I got out of it too. He never mentioned it, but I could see what the epoxy, the difference was versus me using the Elmer's wood glue.
Yeah.
But at that time, I didn't know that you could take epoxy and thin it down with acetone. Because that acetone thinning it.
One time, a long time ago, Sparky made a video and he was laminating 2 sheets together, and I don't remember whether it was or what, but he scraped it so thin that there was almost no glue left, and you know, with a credit card, just shaved it all back off, and then put the two together and weighted them down overnight. Do you remember what you were making, Sparky, when you made that video?
I don't remember what I'm making, but I can tell you what glue to use. Z-epoxy.
It's a 30-minute.
24-hour.
Yeah. Yeah, I used the first time I used.
Did you get any work done on them props, Sparky?
I have not. I'll do it when I get back to Dayton.
Oh, okay.
Did you meet Jeff Traxler at Brodak with his carbon fiber props?
Yeah, he doesn't make anything big enough for me.
He's supposed to have a 12, 6, 6.5 coming here pretty quick. Somebody gave it, it's a Boley or whatever, and it was made for the Super Tiger 61 at the time. And I think the mold is done, but I haven't heard if he's got a prop out of it yet.
Yeah, he said if someone wanted a prop done, to send him the prop and he'd make a mold out of it. I know I've got three propellers from him when I get to the Nats.
Oh, okay. The 10.5 works really good. We had that on LA 47, and it pulls like hell. It really does a good job. The only thing is that on a landing, Dick, our friend there, he didn't have it set right, and it moved with the propeller pointing straight down and hit on landing and cracked it.
Oh, wow. He made me he took one of the 10.4s and the 10.5s that he has, and he knocked them down to 9.5s for me. So I'm going to use it on my OS 25 LA.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
On my Stuka.
Yeah.
That 3-blade, I just think it looks a lot, it looks more scale a little bit, Yeah. I kind of like that semi-scale look.
Yeah, I do too. The 3-blade props look good.
Yeah.
I've never flown one on anything, but I've got one. I've been wanting to try on my Yak 9 just for looks.
Yeah,
you got a Yak?
I gave to Sparky. They're too thin to mold. It bends them. So I think if it works out onto this carbon fiber veil, probably make them stiffer and then try to make molds of them. But the things are so flexible at the tip that you just couldn't get it done. Well, it says my battery is critically low and this thing's going to shut off. I'll try to get back on with the computer.
Okay.
Okay.
I've been trying and I can't get on. I can watch it and stuff, but that's about it. I'll try to figure it out.
Well, if you can't get on, just get on the chat side of the YouTube.
Yeah. All right, guys. We'll talk to you later.
Good luck.
Yep. Like Sparky dropped off too. I didn't know that Sparky dropped off until I looked down.
Heck, if Sparky dropped off, then I'm surprised me and you are still here.
Yep. Well, that's happened from time to time.
Yeah.
Gosh, I got everything all set up. My table, my paint's there, my plane is there, and I've got it in my garage now. And every time I go in there lately, all this past week and all this month, I go in there and I walk by it all the time, and I'm like, oh man, I wish I could just get some color on it. I'm this close.
It seems to be the hardest thing to get moving on is transitioning from building to color, to getting the color on.
Yeah, I can't afford the dope paint, so I'm going with what I have locally, and I've taken acrylic paint and mixed it with lacquer, and so far it's working great.
Yeah, as long as it's not acrylic enamel, you want to, like I always.
I am putting on.
I always put on Duplicolor acrylic lacquer. That's good.
Well, this is what I do is for the clear coat, I'm spraying on. It's Duplicolor acrylic enamel to fuel proof it. And it works. I did it last year.
Yeah.
And a good friend of mine, well, he just got his Strega done, Dave. I could never say his last name.
I don't know.
It starts with an F. Fanalik, David Fanalik. He just got the Strega done and had it at Brodak. He had the bi-directional Wesley Dick flap. I think you saw it on Facebook, right? Yeah, he's got it painted right to the same scheme as the real Strega, number 7.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what he did. He got his vinyl decaling and graphics from Cali Graphics, and you got to be careful what clear coat you put on top of it. So he ended up clear coating it with Duplicolor acrylic enamel.
Enamel and lacquer, you have to be careful. It'll make it bubble up, orange peel. But
yeah, he said the urethane base wasn't good for that decal. But like I said, that's my only process in building a whole airplane that I'm having trouble with, and that's the finishing. Last year, it was a great big air. My finish was a little over 15 ounces,
I remember that debacle.
And, and I've worked so hard and tried so hard. I wish I could do the dope, but I can't.